Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I'm surrounded by my friends on a Friday. Everyone bailed. This is it. This is what happens after a week. Friday comes. I think Friday's the most important show of the week, personally, because people tend to not take it seriously. People tend to be ready for Loverboy. They're working for the weekend. I happen to think that people want... Can we be serious here? We're supposed to do a show. I got no one around me. Everything's happening in my ear. I have so many things I need to get to. You know what? Screw it, Billy. I'm just starting. I appreciate that you're here. I got Tony and Juju and Billy and Lucy and Jeremy. I'm thankful for the whole week we had. And I don't love the fact that yesterday I got a text from Pablo and from Dominique celebrating the week. Very thankful about the week, appreciative of the week. And my view was that's like premature celebration. It's like winning the third game of a series, and the whole day yesterday, we won 4-0. We swept. No. We need to win today.
Well, they were done.
But it doesn't matter that they're done. That's like saying the starting pitcher of Game 3 wins to go up 3-0, and that means you're done. You have to win 4.
I have a question for you. How are you more comfortable doing a show? Because you do a show by yourself every day. Do you like that, or you liked kind of having the group do the show with you?
Well, you are the group. So I love both. I love doing, I just finished Nothing Personal. So you guys, do you hear when I'm doing the show in the mornings?
Yeah.
So I do it from 8 to 8:50 every morning, and then I finish, and then we start here. And it's such a big difference. I love the sparring partners. I love being called out because, of course, when you're doing Nothing Personal, you're talking into the void except for Coca yelling in my ear, wrong, or you got that wrong or did that wrong. And people here on Dan's show have no problem, including Dan, who is across the ocean, who is making sure to get in my ear. I'd be surprised if you didn't have him particularly dialed in, worried about a Friday show with just us here. Do you feel a little bit as though that we can do anything because Dan's gone, Pablo's gone, Dominique's gone?
Fridays always feel that way.
Yeah.
Why?
There's an energy to Friday because we're not doing quite as many segments as we normally do for a full show. Normally, Dan and Stugotz aren't here on Fridays, so it's just sort of shipping container led, or, you're here or some other special guest, whether that's a mean. And so it's kind of like substitute teacher energy. That's always kind of the vibe on Friday, in a good way, though, because
and my flight is always at 12.
Yeah, that's
noon.
Also true. It just brings a fun kind of frantic and interesting energy to it. I don't know
why substitute teachers get such a bad rap. I was so mean.
It's a good
What's
rap.
the worst thing that you all did to your substitute teachers? Because I happen to remember the worst thing that I did to mine.
I don't have a worst thing that we did to a substitute teacher. Not surprisingly, I was an amazing student. I had a worst thing a teacher has done, and it's lived in my brain forever, and I will never forget the time that we were in school, and we were, taking a test, and I went up to ask a question, and my teacher was shaving her legs behind her desk.
No way.
Yep.
Did she get fired?
No, she was so old. She probably had tenure. She was really a mean lady. She did not give one shit about anything. And Miss Spencer, that's a common last name, so I can say it. just sat there and shaved her legs behind the desk.
Is she alive still?
She was really old, and this was like 15 years ago.
I had a middle school teacher that clipped her toenails during class one time, and it was one of the grossest things. Like, it was truly, and I forget what the name of the class was, but it was essentially like, was it health? Was it it was critical thinking. It was the critical thinking class, and then we had, and that was not a critical thinking
I had
type
a
of
terrible
move.
fight with my girlfriend over this. I do not agree with clipping anything other than over a toilet or a garbage can. It seems to me a very simple rule. I don't understand why there'd ever be a violation of that rule.
I agree with you, actually.
Right, 100%.
But apparently, there are people who feel they can clip away. I once saw someone clipping at an airport.
Nah, this should be locked up.
If I were bigger, I have a top 5 list in my head of things that I wish that I would do if I were a bigger person.
So wait a second. You're thinking of doing like hygiene vigilantism?
Yes. 1,000%.
If you were bigger, though.
I'd have to be your size.
So if you were my size, you would be the Batman of hygiene.
There is not one chance I would allow someone to clip their toenails in an airport lounge.
Well, what would you do just because you're bigger? You would like
I
cause
would confront
problems,
them.
or it would just be like
Hey,
you'd be
slow down,
physically
buddy.
menacing?
Well, it'd be menacing. I'm
Okay.
not very menacing.
Just puff out your chest a little bit.
65, $132. You're not menacing. I can't go up to someone, and I also view that I can't go up to someone smaller than I, because I don't have
You
the
can't pick on
menacing
children.
credibility.
Yeah.
So therefore, I can't do it. Even if I were your size, Billy, I would do it. And it's not just toenails. I would do it. And there are certain times that I still do it, but only when I'm with bigger people. So I
Gotta have
have
backup.
the guts. I have to have backup. I have to have like bodyguards, bigger friends, which is almost everybody, or bigger people who just happen to be with me. When people drop litter on the street, what I don't do anymore because of all the violence is I have gone up to cars when people throw stuff out of their car window. If I catch them at a light, I used to, before there was a risk of being shot, I would say, "Excuse me, you dropped garbage on the street." But now I don't do it
You would
anymore.
get out of your car and go
It's a window roll.
walk. Oh, okay.
It's a window
You'd pull, okay, so you would pull up in the lane next to somebody, because I'm envisioning you parked behind someone
At a red light? No.
getting out of your car, walking up and knocking on the window and saying, "Excuse me, sir or madam, you just dropped this Cheetos bag
I have
on
done
the floor."
that in a grocery store parking lot, in a Publix parking lot, when someone left a cart in the way of a car and it starts rolling and they ignore it. I have had the guts, because I feel like even large people, maybe armed, when they're protecting like milk and eggs, they don't want to delay getting back in the Florida heat to the fridge.
So I have an ongoing feud that this person is unaware of with someone that lives in my neighborhood, and I think I know who this person is. And there's a person, so when I walk my dogs around the neighborhood, I will go and I have the little baggies, right? And that's not something that everybody does, and that's not common
should.
in every area, right? But like, I have been conditioned with these dogs because the apartment that I lived at before had like the dog bags, and it was like very, not that I was just walking around leaving dog crap everywhere anyways, but like, since I've had my dogs, I've been conditioned this is the right way to do. This is the correct way to behave with a dog. So there's a dog that always poops right near my mailbox. So it's like there's grass by the mailbox is by the curb, and there's poop there regularly. And if I don't look down, I'll step in the poop. Or if, my mother-in-law comes over, sometimes she'll park there, and like that's where she'll step, and there's poop there. So I've come up with this plan, and I haven't executed it yet. And it's kind of along the lines of what you're thinking, because like, I don't want to get shot. Like, not high on my list of things that I want to do, but I want this to stop. So I was thinking of maybe getting like one of those deer cam things and putting it like in a tree right facing the area where it is.
To catch the dog.
To catch the person, not the dog. I mean, the dog doesn't know any better, right? The dog's just doing what dogs do. But I want to catch the person, and this is where I need help. This is the next step that I've come up with that I don't think is necessarily the best way to handle this situation. I want to catch the person, and then I want to print a picture of me catching the person, and I want to post it on my mailbox, and I want to put on the paper, "Pick up your shit, asshole." But I feel like that's a little bit much, and then that will lead to me getting shot. And also, I'm then they know where I live. So then this could be a lot worse. Like, when you do something confrontational, I feel like one of the big keys is people not knowing where you live. Because if they know where you live, then it's a lot worse.
I just don't agree that it's confrontational when people are crapping on your property.
Well, I mean, I could use nicer words, obviously.
But no, I'm saying that is something, I think that that's a normal thing to say to a neighbor. It's not like turn your music down at 7 p.m. when you're having a small get-together, something that someone does every day. Asking a dog not to crap on your lawn, am I missing something?
Well, it's
or is
not
that
even...
not a very normal neighborly thing to do?
Look, I don't fault the dog, right? If the dog's going to go there, okay. But can you pick it up? Yeah. And, like, not just leave it there. And I'm pretty sure I know exactly who this is, but I don't want to be confrontational. Also, the person's a little bit older, so, like, I don't want to also be confrontational in case I spook this person too much and then I'm liable for something.
What about having your wife do it?
Oh, I mean, that's usually my go-to for every confrontation I have. Is like, she will handle those situations. So much so that, like, I will say, please don't have these confrontations because this will make the situation a lot worse than it needs to be. Like, please don't confront that person. Now, if it's the way that my meal's cooked or something, that's okay. Because she'll be nice about it.
That's a private confrontation.
Yeah, no, but I also, like, I will eat the wrong meal all the time. Or if it's cooked the wrong way, all the time. I will never send anything back.
I've never sent anything back.
Never, ever. And, like, we've talked about, I think, on Mystery Crate before, where, like, I will take things to go that I didn't like just because I feel the shame of leaving it behind. Yep. And I don't want to insult the person. It could be a bad meal, and I will ask for a to-go box, and then I'll take it with me home and throw it away at home just so that they don't see it. Or I do the old move, and again, we're in reruns here, but I'll do the old move where I pretend that I forgot the box, and it stays on the table. Like, whoopsie-daisy. I meant to take this home. It was so delish.
I know I'm playing Monday morning quarterback right here, but I feel like it was a risk for being shot your whole life, picking up people's trash, taking it to the window. Like, I don't know if it was the 60s or the 70s when you grew up, but pistols was real out the whole time. But Billy, I think you just put a sign on your mailbox that says "Do not crap on my lawn. You're on camera."
Yeah, there's people in my neighborhood that have that, like that say like "Don't pee on my lawn" or "Don't whatever."
Do they get peed on their lawn?
I walk faster past those houses, to be honest with you.
You should just put really passive-aggressive signs up.
Yeah, but then
I have
also
signs
looks
all over
ridiculous.
my house, folks. I admit it.
do?
Inside my house. I have two particular ones that are my favorite. One is that I have a piece of art that is relatively close to the top of a piece of furniture, and it's upon the entrance to the house, and people tend, for whatever reason, which I'll never understand, they walk into your house and they feel like they can put their bag on the first ledge they see. Not sure that that is proper. You put it on the floor, or you ask, where may I put my bag? So I have a sign that says, please do not leave objects on this surface, because I don't
Like you're
want...
at a museum?
So it's that.
What kind of bags they be bringing to your house, bruh?
People bring purses, or they bring beach bags, or whatever they're bringing. I just don't want anything, because there's a risk if you grab the bag that you could stick a finger through a piece of art. But that's one. The one that bothers me the most...
What kind of art is it that you could put your finger through it?
Smithsonian?
Canvas. Any oil on canvas you can put a finger through.
Or like dent it.
Well, sometimes it can dent or put it through.
That's a peek into your life. That's how rich you are.
No,
you got
it's not.
art
I didn't
in
say it was
bad
good
places.
art. I just said it's any art.
David just likes protecting art. Good art, bad art.
I protect art,
Yeah.
but the other thing I protect is electricity usage. I like lights being turned off. I don't like when people leave lights on when they go outside or when they're guests of your house. Drives me crazy when guests go out to dinner and leave the lights on in the guest room. So I'm constantly reminding people with a sign, please turn lights off when leaving the room.
So every switch has one?
What do you mean with a sign?
It's-
Like next to all your light switches, you have
No,
signs?
upon the entrance to the room.
Are you like running a bed and breakfast that you
It's-
have like rules in the
I
different
don't.
rooms?
So I am a great host, actually, because when people come to my place, I show them the refrigerator, the food, do whatever you want. The only rule is don't ask me for anything. I don't want to do anything. I'm not cooking for you. I'm not getting you stuff. You're allowed to touch and do whatever you want, but just follow the simple rules. The Wi-Fi password is a very easy one, which I'm happy to give publicly. It's keep it clean. Very normal.
Any caps in there or no?
Just, I'm not going to tell you, but just just keep the house clean. And then the sign in the gym is my last one. It's not a gym, I have a treadmill. People take a little fridge that I got on Amazon for $40, and have you ever had a fridge where you just close it, but then it opens up a little bit so it doesn't fully close.
Yeah, of
sure.
course.
Like if you do it too hard or whatever.
And then all of a sudden your stuff isn't cold. And I go down to work out and the drinks I want aren't cold, so I have a sign that says, please make sure refrigerator door is closed.
Damn, bruh. If I come to your house, I'll be mad as hell.
No, I think people have fun. I've never had a complaint because
People love rules.
what I've heard most is people love understanding expectations. What is expected of me as a guest of your home? What is it? I want to be a good guest. Most people want to be a good guest, and they don't want to be put in a position where they don't know what the host wants.
Are you someone who gets frustrated if someone doesn't turn off a light, leaving a room momentarily? So, like, for example, if I was staying in the guest room, but I had to walk out to go down to the living room for some sort of reason, we're having a conversation, and I know I'm going to be back in 10, 15 minutes. No problem
I'm
leaving
talking
that
when
light
you're
on.
going out to dinner,
Leaving
going out
for the night.
leaving for the night, or
Okay.
leaving for the day.
That's
What
respectable.
about when someone you know comes to your house and brush their teeth and they don't turn the water off while they brush their teeth? What
I
kind
don't
of
either.
wrath? You
I don't either.
Oh, well, touche.
And that's too bad because I'm lucky enough to have traveled around places where water is not something that is not taken for granted. And for whatever reason, I need to leave the water running because I have a particular need to rinse the brush, let's say every 15 strokes, and I don't want to have to keep turning it on or off.
What do these signs look like? Like, did you print them on a printer? Are they laminated? Were they professionally made?
You can get them online. I searched direction signs for your house, and they're this big.
Customizable.
They're customizable signs. It may be called customizable signs.
Are they
sure
like a
it
special font, special color?
I have different fonts for each of the different signs
Why?
because I believe, again, welcome to my brain, I think people respond to block font in a little more serious way than like Times font or italicized font. So I
Or
want
like a little cursive.
I want a cursive.
Papyrus.
People may not know what that is.
You know, speaking of pirates, Paul Skenes, 11 Ks yesterday. Holy good, bruh. I thought he was going to slow down.
Did you think that he shouldn't have been taken out of the game?
I mean, I think let the boy cook at it. If you're going to put him out there, you the Pirates, you're not going nowhere. I think you should start ramping him down. I think they should. I like it.
They're in the wild card race on the periphery, but they're not going anywhere.
The thing with
His
Paul,
arm is in
upset.
Tommy John race, but peripherally.
I didn't have time to ask for the Derek Shelton video, so I don't know if we have it. Derek Shelton met the media. He's the manager of the Pirates, and he gave the lamest BS excuse about why Skenes was out. He said, oh, we had eyes on him. He looked tired. It wasn't pitch count. I don't know why anyone's saying pitch count. Coincidence, it was 99 pitches. We took him out because he was tired. We've never
ridiculous.
seen it, but he looked tired to us.
he threw 120 or more pitches in 3 out of his 4 starts during their run to the College World Series. He's a horse.
It's a
He's a
joke.
guy who can absolutely go over 100 pitches. And I understand pitch count. I understand the way that we baby arms now. But Paul Skenes is one of those guys physically who seems to be built for the long haul. And inevitably, like all of these guys who throw that hard, there will be some sort of injury somewhere down the line. But it's just so frustrating. Like, the no-hitter or the perfect game as a concept, the fact that baseball gets in its own way in having these special moments, it's infuriating.
It made me angry.
I hate pitchers getting removed in the middle of no hitters.
Yeah.
I hate Dave Roberts for that reason because he does it all the time. I hated Don Mattingly for doing it constantly.
It's not their decision.
No, I hate him anyways.
Okay.
I hate when you take out the pitcher.
Hate the people who make the decision.
Well, who do I
Or
hate?
just
do I
hate.
hate you? Was it you? Did you do
We
this?
had strict pitch counts.
Well, okay, let me ask you, because you're in a unique position, right? You have these strict pitch counts. You want to protect the asset, right? But also, you're preventing a moment that you could market and capitalize off of. So how do you weigh those options in your position?
It's a major problem. And the problem is that as president of the team, I wanted the no-hitter because I'm collecting ticket stubs. I'm ready to sell the ticket stubs. I'm having the players sign all the bases and balls. We're taking all the game-used balls. You know, when after every pitch, the catcher throws the ball away. We're getting those. We're getting them authenticated. We'll get the pitcher to sign them. And we've got things that we can auction off on MLB.com or put in our team store. And but the GM has already made the decision and convinced the owner that if you let this guy go, you're going to have a problem. And my view is that I want to look at the game. But the decisions are made before the game starts. So like yesterday, Skenes was fine. He looked great. I had no issue with him at all. He got through the 7th inning in, 6 pitches?
It's amazing that we don't seem to take high-stress innings into account. Like
We
pitch count.
all the time you have to take that into account. But
Right.
now analytics does not worry about that. Why? Because stress innings are based on this, your eye. And analytics says, nope, we're not interested in
It's
that.
infuriating the way that we treat arms in Major League Baseball now because it's
It ain't working.
Right. The more it's a structural issue that dates all the way down to kids playing travel baseball, but by babying arms all the way through, you're only making this worse. You're only making your injury epidemic worse because you baby these arms and yet you tell your pitchers to hunt for velocity. And so those are sort of counterproductive things when it comes to injuries. And so you treat these guys like they're incapable of going deep into games. But every pitcher and every pitcher's pitch count is different based off what
It
their
should
velocity
be, but
is,
it's not. Tony's our
what
athlete.
their legs are.
I
It's
think that-
infuriating.
The players never liked when I talked about this stuff because I wasn't a player. Tony, did you ever think that anyone could take care of your body better than you or know your body better than you?
I think it depends too. Like if you're injured or oft injured, that you have something that you're working back from. Like I've worked back from a knee injury where I felt like, oh, did I have the step that I had prior to the surgery or whatever? So for me, that was always difficult because you always know your body. But I think there's a differentiation when you have something that could get injured or something that was already injured, right? Like if you look at these guys' arms, they're okay until they aren't. Dave, you know more than anybody. It's like that one pitch until forearm tightness, elbow tightness, tricep tightness, it can be one pitch away. So when you look at guys that were built to look like horses and throw 9 innings, look at Strasburg. Strasburg was a horse. He was coming out of San Diego State, I think, or whatever, and he looked amazing. And then all of a sudden his career derailed because one thing after another after another. And it's like it's having a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, or a super specialized car that you take one screw a little loose and the entire car kind of gets messed up.
Do you think the All-Star game was at play here?
No, he was going to start the All-Star game either way.
So had he gone,
He just had to get through. He had to get through the game. My opinion. This hasn't been made public, so I have no idea.
He'll probably start.
My opinion is that he had to get through the game healthy, and he did get through the start healthy, and then they will announce him as the starter. They have to. It makes perfect sense. We all want to watch him, and I assume they make the lineup. The manager of the All-Star game said yesterday he's evaluating. The manager of the Diamondbacks. I'm evaluating who's going to start. He's so full of it. He has no say whatsoever. None. It is all the commissioner's office who decides who the starting pitcher is. Oh, I'm going to figure out what my lineup's going to be. No, you're not. Pretend you're managing your actual team where you also don't have a say in your lineup.
So red or black font on these signs?
It's blue background with white font for the one in the...
What color are your walls?
Bruh, breaking news, bruh. We just found a picture of your damn living room. Somebody sent a Canon camera picture, bruh. Oh, this is crazy as hell, man. Come on, bruh. You got to take some of them down.
Do not watch.
Don't look outside, bruh. We can't even peek out the window.
I'm the opposite of that. I have every streaming service available in every guest room, and every bathroom is full of every condiment you could ever need. From combs.
Are you eating in your bathroom?
Condiment.
What's the word for I have Advil, Tylenol, tampons, dental floss, combs, toothbrush, toothpaste.
I think we call that accoutrement.
Accoutrement?
Is your house like an Airbnb when you're not there?
No,
Why
I do not allow strangers in the house.
Really?
Ever. There will never be an Airbnb. Can you? Me? Are you joking?
I don't know.
What, you put my stuff in a closet?
So your signs are blue? What color are your walls?
White?
Seems like it stands out.
Toiletries? Is that maybe the word we're looking for?
Toiletries.
Toiletries?
Is a good, but Advil, I don't view Advil and Tylenol as toiletries.
Yeah, well, that's different. That's medicine, I guess.
I also have Gaviscon in every room.
I know what Gaviscon is, but my happy birthday, Lucy's, praise God, my sister doesn't know what that means.
Happy birthday to
Her.
I don't care. Good luck.
That's so mean.
I care.
I hate that sound.
I think Gaviscon's the guy that Belle was going after Belle in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Gaviscon is just a
City in
better
Texas.
Tums.
Yeah, he wore the tie.
Why don't you like your birthday?
Just don't.
Yeah.
Can you? Did you not have good parties when you were 9?
I never really had birthday parties. My birthday was in the middle of the summer, so everyone was out of town. My dad usually made us go to Des Moines for my birthday.
Nice.
And that's not nice. It was not the most fun birthday. So I've never really cared for it. It's not anything like getting older. I don't really care about that. Just not a birthday gal.
Are you going to be with your friends tonight?
I don't have any friends.
Are you going to be with your coworkers tonight?
No. I'm gonna
Lucy,
be
I
with
consider you a
Willow.
friend. I think you are a great friend. You
Thank
came
you,
to Atlanta,
Juju.
me and you and Rose hung out, and I feel like we made a bond. And
We did, and
us
our
being
matching sweatshirts.
You feel me? Us being kind of new here and not necessarily Miamians, we had, we shared a couple of like great conversations. So I honor our friendship, and I wish you nothing but the best, sis. Every day.
Thank you, Juju. I love you. But Jess is out of town, so I'm actually watching Willow. Wow. So it's a Lucy and Willow
Awesome.
day.
You are a good person. I wouldn't watch someone's dog for a gazillion dollars. As a matter of fact, there are 2 rules. Since you're talking about other rules at the house, I do have 2 other rules. No kids, no pets.
No kids. Why the kids got to catch a stray?
I just don't want kids in the house.
Can your kids come over?
They're not kids.
Okay.
Oh, wait, it's funny. You think kids could mean like 30-year-olds.
No, I don't know.
No, I meant kids
You
like...
got swings up in the house? Like, what you got going on in there, man?
I just don't want kids around. Kids touch stuff. I don't want anyone touching stuff. And kids make mess. I also have a very bad habit. My last one that I'll mention is I tend to vacuum while people are still eating as a way to let them know that they're dropping crumbs on the floor and it's driving me crazy.
Why does anyone stay at your house?
Because we have fun.
Do we?
We really do. So I'm painting it as though it's not fun.
Yes.
But it really is.
You have a pool in the back or what?
There is. There is.
Not allowed in it, but it's
No,
there.
no. Totally allowed. Shower first.
How about after? Shower after?
Generally, you're supposed to. Doesn't
If you have-
everybody shower?
If you have a couple staying with you, can they get intimate in your house?
They do, and it can be heard.
It can be heard.
Yes.
Wow.
So the way houses are built, the walls are not necessarily thick.
I immediately regret this question.
What? This is, out of everything that happened this week, you're gonna regret like hearing some oohs and ahs, given everything Lucy was not here for. But were you happy with the week?
I actually was moving this week, so I did not have a chance to listen to the show. So
Nice.
your girl's been packing and packing and packing.
Are you watching Willow in a new place?
No, I'm staying at Jess's place, and I'm watching Willow there.
Do you get to stay in her bedroom?
Yeah, if I want to.
Hey.
She has 2 beds, so I slept in one
Like
of the
Ricky Ricardo and Lucy Ricardo?
Yeah, exactly. So she has like 2 rooms. So I'm going to switch it up and sleep in a
2
different
rooms.
room tonight to figure out which room I like more.
Little Goldilocks action.
Will it be based on air conditioning?
I don't know. It'll just be based on vibes.
Sounds? Vibes?
Vibes, yeah. Which room do I sleep better in?
Speaking of vibes, the ESPYs happened last night. Holy moly. Jaylen Brown pulled up with Kaiser. They was looking stunning. Serena was a great host. She threw a couple jabs at Drake. You know what I mean? It was lovely. Did y'all watch that?
I actually saw highlights, and I saw some on social media, and I like that Jaylen Brown was asked, of course, what would you ask Jaylen Brown? You'd ask, hey, are you despondent that you're not on Team USA? And he was much more focused on his date.
He should be.
He said, I want you all to look at who I'm with, not what I'm doing. The ESPYs used to be...
They used to mean something. I know this
real.
sounds old. They used to mean something. I woke up today and I found out the ESPYs were yesterday. I couldn't believe it. Also because the ESPYs historically have been the day after the MLB All-Star
when
game.
there used to be no sports, but now
Yeah.
there are sports because of WNBA, and maybe MLS, I assume, may have games.
Yeah, but MLB had games yesterday. WNBA had games
There's
yesterday.
winners
It
not
was
present.
bizarre.
Like I don't understand why they did it. And also, I mean, I don't know if everyone experienced this the same way. I had no idea the ESPYs were coming up. And it could be maybe because I've switched from like traditional cable to streaming where like now I will go and find it as opposed to when I had cable, I just have the TV on. It was on ESPN all the time. And when we were there, obviously, I was constantly hearing ESPY week, the ESPYs are coming up. I had no idea the ESPYs
I found
were
out
going
on Twitter, and I didn't turn to it because I wasn't engaged in the ESPYs the way I used to be. And it's not an age. I don't want to call myself old. I used to think that winning an ESPY was a thing. I viewed it as Oscars light.
Bruh, just because y'all don't go to the beach don't mean Cisco ain't out there doing the thong song right now. Like, the SB still means a lot, brothers. Like, you got 2 kids now, so your focus ain't there, and you got a show to do this week, so your focus is not big. Brother, it's people that's been locked in on this SBs. Like, people won great awards last night.
Were there any upsets?
I mean, I just like the fact that Caitlyn was celebrated, Juju Watkins was celebrated. It was just a night of celebration and fun. And I don't get to see Serena in those kind of atmospheres like that. She showed her personality. I loved it.
But that's the thing that's frustrating about it, right? Is that they did it at a time they can't actually be there to be celebrated. Like, they're celebrating them from afar, as opposed to kind of accommodating the
Did they have
schedules.
Zoom acceptance speeches?
No, I think they were playing games.
So like Asia Wilson and Caitlyn both won awards, and they just like filmed a video that they played. Something I wanted to watch it simply because this was the only time they were ever going to talk about Iowa at any major award show ever. So I said, I am not going to miss this moment. But when I was like trying to watch it, it wasn't even on ESPN. Like, it was like some home run derby preview show on ESPN, which I didn't watch. I'm sorry, Billy. And so it was only on ABC when I was trying to watch it. Maybe that changed, but I was like, why aren't the ESPYs on ESPN?
This is why I realized. So did they delay the start of the ESPYs for the Biden press conference?
They did.
So the live show got delayed. I started watching the Biden press conference at 6:30 when he was supposed to go on.
It was announced.
And he went on at 7:27. And off at 8:26. What time did the ESPYs start?
I don't know.
Right after?
Literally right then, yeah. And it opened up with, I think Sierra did a musical number. But
I think Russell
Caitlyn did
Wilson's
win,
so
so
overrated.
that was super, super cool for me.
Prince Harry won, too.
Yeah,
He
that
won
was
the
weird.
Pat Tillman Award.
That feels strange, right?
I think that they thought good ratings, get Meghan Markle and Prince
I doubt
Harry.
it made any
Yeah, we're past that
difference
point.
whatsoever.
2021, that would
They
That's-
have
maybe.
fallen like a meteor.
And they could have really, I think we were talking about this a little bit before the show when we were discussing the ESPYs and Serena hosting and everything there. The idea that the two of them sort of like took the money from Spotify and Netflix and everybody after not embracing the royalty, they could have remained popular by just leaving the royal family and sort of staying out of the limelight for a little while. But when
couldn't
they
help it.
cashed in immediately, it kind of like ruined the appeal of what it was that they were doing.
I'm trying to think about anyone in my lifetime who's fallen more out of grace than Harry and Meghan. They were
Antonio Brown.
Uga Thurbina.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Antonio
some
Brown
examples.
though was never. I mean, it's a top 5 list, but was he ever as high as Harry and Meghan?
Well, nobody.
I mean, I mean, in terms of level, you have
Canceled.
someone, Lucy.
Bill Cosby.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. There's no way he was as high. Bill Cosby's an interesting
rating.
one,
Will Smith heard around the world,
but his Q.
And he's back.
I
and
don't.
he's back.
He's back.
He
in a
is
major
back
way.
because of Bad Boys 7 with
No,
Jimmy
because he
Butler.
has spunk. He has charisma, bro. His son got it. His daughter got it. His wife got it. Can't do nothing but
I'm
rise
going
to
to
the
say
top
that
when you
Prince
cream.
Harry is better known than Will Smith or Bill Cosby around the world.
Maybe Justin Timberlake might be on this list.
No way.
He's getting
Yeah.
there. He was as popular as any artist in the world for a stretch there, and right now he is certainly not beloved.
I must be overvaluing. I have a very hard time with fame and with players and with putting people at their right levels.
Tom Sandoval. He was like-ish, and then he cheated on Ariana with Raquel, and then that became a whole thing. Even though it worked out for Ariana
is
because
that the Bravo thing?
yeah, it is. It's a joke.
No, but that's good. There's a whole.
It worked
thing.
out great for Ariana.
I have a
if
daughter
we're
who
gonna be
works there. I
honest.
get it.
Really?
But yes.
Wow.
But it's not. That's not even in the same. That's like single A compared to Harry and Meghan.
Oh yes, obviously.
I'm not sure that they're major league. I don't
Chris
think we.
Brown.
They didn't like
Chris
fall
Br-
from grace that much. Like I don't think people I don't think people actively hate them, and they're not like bad people. Like I don't.
It's just more irrelevance,
My thing is,
right?
I don't think about them ever. Exactly.
Which is
Who are we
alleged.
talking about?
It's allegedly
Exactly.
what they wanted until no one thought about them, and then they wanted everyone to think about them.
And now they're at the ESPYs.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do a stat of the day, Billy.
Okay.
Can I do one?
Yeah, give me a
About
second.
Prince Harry, or
I do have a stat about Prince Harry, but no, that's not the stat of the day.
what's your stat about Prince Harry?
His lack of relevance.
That's not a stat, though. That feels like
Just
an
a fact.
opinion.
An opinion?
Yeah.
Aren't all stats of the day opinions?
The referee
No,
None of them are
I
cheated.
don't
opinions.
believe so.
They're all
Tim
I
Donaghy.
feel like I think that's kind of the definition of stat.
that it has to be real.
Yeah, that it's not an opinion.
Yeah. Hold on.
Bro, I gotta acknowledge, Tony been showing me too much, bro.
There's a lot
Don't
going
bring
on
me
with
into
you
this.
guys.
I'm breaking my dogs. Tony, they got us. Come from behind the tree.
What's
Brother,
happening?
They got us.
That
We don't need to do it, Billy.
the
I'm
ESPYs
distracted by
was
it.
delayed for some crazy stuff. I'll just say that. That's all I'm gonna say. It was some crazy stuff happening before the ESPYs last night.
I give
But
Dan
salutes.
credit because what I'm looking at when you guys are doing what you're doing, and when I sat there yesterday, I couldn't feel more left out. The two of you are laughing, you're talking to each other. Meanwhile, Jeremy's talking, Lucy's talking. Sometimes when Lucy's talking, I can't hear it because she's talking to somebody, not me. Don't know who. Talking to Billy, I guess. I'm reading her lips only. Didn't even hear you say that.
Fit in.
Very lonely
Fit in
here,
every single
Billy.
way. We
Start of the
gotta
day.
manage.
There it is.
This is start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. It is the start of the day.
God, that goes 10 seconds too long. Do you want to know the number of pitchers to have multiple starts of 0 hits?
Hell
As
yeah.
in 0 hits with 11 plus strikeouts in a season. The
Absolutely.
number of pitchers to have multiple starts in one season. No hits, 11 strikeouts. 2, Nolan Ryan and Paul Skenes.
nice.
He's amazing. A follow-up to that is that Randy Johnson and Max Scherzer combined for 2 starts in their entire careers with no hits and 11 strikeouts, and Paul Skenes has now done it 2 times in his first 11 starts.
And you're worried that he's not going to start the All-Star game?
Oh, he'll start the All-Star.
He's more relevant than Harry right now, which shocks me.
Happy birthday, Lucy.
One of the best things about sitting alone, and there aren't many because I don't love to be alone, is that I get to decide when we can talk movies.
And I get to fart.
I'm not a big farter. I'm a burper. People have always known that about me. It's very strange, actually.
Everybody knows that about you?
Yeah, they do.
How do you control your farts versus your burps?
I don't have, my gas goes north, not south.
Oh.
Strange,
It's
but
from
true.
all them jelly beans you be eating all day, bro.
It could be. I thought that I could whip out the candy, but I'm not that hungry thanks to the great waffles and eggs I had prior. But I get to talk movies, and there's no one I'd rather talk movies with than Adnan. And guess what, Adnan? Welcome to the show. Adnan, of course, you watch him on MLB Network. You listen to his Cinephile pod. And we have no one to say they don't want to talk about what we want to talk about. And guess what? I'm in charge. We're going all day.
David, I love this. This is when adversaries become friends, right? Foes become accomplices, because you and I are right. We have the same mind. We want to talk movies. We want to talk baseball, the hell with everything else. So thanks so much for having me on the show. And congrats to all you guys. I watched The Sex Therapist, asking for a friend. Just want to double check. Gooch is perineum on the East Coast, right?
Yes, sir.
How did I know that you would have to watch that segment?
Yeah, that's honestly, I've been
We
really busy.
covered a
David,
lot of
watching
ground,
Wimbledon.
Adnan.
You know, was it baseball, Wimbledon? But I did squeeze in time for 15 minutes of Amber. She was terrific.
So, except that's not her name. So I really
But
appreciate
I like,
that.
but I like the fact you mentioned Dr. Ruth. Good throwback to bringing in Dr. Ruth, by the way. That was great.
It got me thinking about movies with sexy scenes. There's a lot of scenes. I don't mean sex scenes, though you could interpret it that way. I want to give you a top 5 list, and I want you guys to think about it. And you guys are going to be engaged here, even you guys. The top 5 sexiest scenes in any movie.
Hey, I'm listening.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir, Ski.
Adnan.
I'm about to say, David, you can just tell the entire audience just perked up. Everyone did that big lean into the chair, like, okay, these guys aren't messing around today. I am ready. Top 5 sexiest scenes in movies.
You're starting. That's
wow.
what we're doing differently.
Oh, my God,
We're
this is
not going to
very
cut you
unnatural.
off this time. I'm running. I'm your captain now.
I love it.
You're
the
starting.
man. Okay, so this is one that only David's going to appreciate, and the heck with everybody who's not going to appreciate, but David will. 1981, Body Heat. William Hurt, the late William Hurt, smashing the glass to attack Kathleen Turner. I mean, it's borderline assault, but it's an unbelievable scene of just carnal instinct and human sexuality taking over. It's a great film noir from Lawrence Kasdan. Body Heat. Bill Hurt, Kathleen Turner. Back me up, David.
That's a really, really good movie. It's old, but it's a movie. That movie probably ages only okay, but that scene ages really well.
Well said. Number 4, this one a little bit more current. I know the rest of the crew has seen this one. Black Swan. Okay, we want to make sure we include same-sex romance. So we've got Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis. A little girl-on-girl action. Very, very hot scene.
I don't think you have to put same sex in a top 5 list. It just happens to be a really sexy scene. That's a tough movie to watch. That's a movie you'd like to rewatch movies with great sexy scenes. That's one I've watched one time. Black Swan.
I'm with you on that as well. I've seen it one. It's too unnerving. It's too claustrophobic. Aronofsky, a great director, obviously. She deserved the Oscar part, but you're right. It's a tough watch to watch over and over. But hell of a scene. Number 3, oldie but a goodie from 1990. That's right. It's Ghost. Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore playing with the pottery. Who doesn't get all the feels watching that scene? Very erotic. Every time I see someone taking a pottery class, I'm thinking of Ghost.
I think that's the most copied sexy scene of any movie. I think there's so many movies where they do a takeoff of the pottery scene and Patrick Swayze behind Demi Moore and showing her how to form a pot. I've been in pottery classes in high school, and I got to tell you, it wasn't exactly like that.
Where is my Demi Moore? David Sampson was crying out. Number 2, Halle Berry won an Academy Award. Monsters Ball. I want you to make me feel good. I want
There
you to
it
make me
is.
feel good. Her and Billy Bob Thornton going at it. I'm Juju, back me up. Halle Berry, Monsters Ball, forget about it. She won an Oscar, but that scene is unbelievable.
Yes,
So
sir.
weird,
That
Liz.
living
This is the
room, that living
weirdest
room was
segment.
going down. Oh, it's been some weird segments, but I'm about in. That living room, it was. I'm with you, bit, bro.
That may be the sexiest scene for an Oscar winner in the hit. That would be a different top 5.
Yeah.
But she did win an Oscar for that role. And that scene, I thought when I first watched Monsters Ball that they were really doing it.
Yeah.
And
I
they
mean,
may have
that-
been.
to David's point, we could use a frame by frame analysis to be a good excuse to, for homework and such, but it's definitely, they're moving positions around. It's very aggressive, and Billy Bob's a method actor, so wouldn't be out of the question.
All right, next.
Number one, I think this is unquestionable number one, David. I don't know how we're going to top this. Sharon Stone uncrossing her legs in Basic Instinct. I mean, the entire audience was like Wayne Knight, better known as Newman from Seinfeld. The way he's, the sweat's forming, he's staring in there, this obese, grotesque man just staring at Sharon Stone crossing her legs. Unbelievable
Is
scene.
Basic
We've all
Instinct a
seen it.
movie that you've not seen, Lucy?
Nope.
Have you ever heard of it?
No, I haven't really been listening this whole segment though. I'm a little uncomfortable.
It's 'cause it's been a little weird.
This is kind of a weird birthday.
It got weird when Ad Nantan little girl on girl action. That was the moment where I checked
Yeah,
out.
that's
Glad
where
you
you
weren't here
lost.
the other day.
Not the phrase I would have
I
used.
don't want to
We're
make it
adults.
uncomfortable for
Well, and he
you.
used it as an excuse for inclusivity too.
Right.
I don't believe that
Check me
Basic
out,
Instinct
Billy.
is a
Good point.
movie that people have not heard of, but I guess I'm wrong. Michael Douglas, Sharon Stone, and there's an interrogation scene. And she is wearing a very famous white one-piece dress. And my favorite part of that movie is that scene where she's told there's no smoking in here. And she says, "What are you going to do? Charge me with smoking?" I've used that line before very often. All right, I'm going to
she
do a
just
top
owns this
5
movie.
for you. And I'm slightly concerned now that we've lost Birthday Lucy.
Oh, you already lost me. Don't worry about it. You guys do your thing. I'll see you in 5 minutes. 50
Come
seconds.
back. I want inclusivity.
She wants to talk Paul Skenes.
Always have. Livy Dunn's boyfriend.
That's right.
Wonder how
Listen,
they
99 pitches, 7 no-hit innings. I hope he starts the All-Star game. Billy, if you want me to talk Skenes, I'll talk Skenes all day.
He's going to start the All-Star game. I expect it to be announced shortly. I find that to be a mismatch, the whole Skenes-Livy match.
Yeah,
Top
she's
5.
way out of his league.
Top 5 sexiest Skenes.
It reminds me if she's out of my league. It's Alice Eve situation.
I've seen that movie.
Do you love that movie?
Yeah, I like the Hall & Oates joke. It makes me laugh.
I love that you like Hall & Oates. That is a top 5 list. Another one, sad breakups. The Hall & Oates breakup makes me sad.
Yeah.
They hate
My
each
parents. I'd put them on
other.
that
Oh,
list.
Out of Touch, all-time great song.
I don't put my parents. I wonder whether my kids put me. My guess is they don't, but maybe. Number 5, another movie I love called The Notebook.
Nice.
There is a love scene in the rain with Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams where she jumps into his arms, and I've always wanted to recreate it, but A, I'm normally the one who jumps into someone else's arms, and B, I don't want to be outside when it rains.
I can't believe Rachel McAdams is like 46.
And
I
still got it going on.
I saw the other day. I was like, Rachel McAdams. I think she's 46 or 47 years old. I couldn't believe it.
That sounds high, Billy. Let's double check. She's 45 years old. Wow,
Yeah.
Billy, you nailed it.
She did a great
Fellow Canadian,
job
by
on
the
the
way.
movie, the TV show Dave, too. She did an episode with Dave. Yeah. That was fire.
She's done a couple with Dave.
Yep.
She's his dream girl.
Yep.
And the little Dicky. I love little Dicky, and I love Dave, and I hope there's a new season.
Right.
And I hope Rachel McAdams is in it, but she's the dream girl. Everybody's dream girl. Number 4, Out of Sight.
Oh, George Clooney.
George Clooney, prior to penning any editorials, and Jennifer Lopez prior to doing documentaries and getting 29 divorces. It's an outstanding movie. And the scene when they are in the trunk together maybe is the number 4 sexiest scene of any movie ever. If you haven't watched it, Soderbergh, please watch Out of Sight.
Definitely, both of them at their most charismatic, David. You're right. It's a great film. Ben Mankiewicz, my old buddy, who is one of the hosts of TCM, Turner Classic Movies. This guy's seen more movies than anybody. He lists Out of Sight as one of his top 10 movies of all time, and that scene in particular is a great one. Awesome movie.
Number 3, it's part of a trilogy. It's a movie called Before Sunrise. Before Sunrise is with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and there's a scene in that movie when they are laying down together as their night ends that they've spent together. There's no sex involved. It is a very sexy scene, and it is one of the catalysts that gave me the reputation that I have as a handholder. I'm a handholder. I like
Everyone
those,
knows that, David.
I like those moments. I'm a hugger. I like the connectivity and the connection between Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy in that scene in that movie. That to me was outstanding.
David's love language, physical touch. Now that we all know that, I'm with you. It's a great trilogy. Obviously, Linklater, a wonderful director. Hitman, currently available on Netflix. Love Ethan Hawke. Of the
movie.
three, I like the second one the best, Before Sunset. But Before Sunrise is great too.
David's other love language is thong flip-flops. Back to you, Dave.
I do. I have a very good thong tan. Number 2,
Hey, yo.
Brokeback Mountain.
Nice.
The scene where they first kiss in the tent. I'm not gay. I'm straight. And I got to tell you, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking I've never felt that.
Little boy on boy action.
And I've wanted I love first kisses. Who doesn't? You want as many as you can. That first kiss, never seen anything like it.
It's beautiful.
It's definitely a great film. It should have won Best Picture over Crash that year, which I was really surprised by that pick. And that's another tough movie to watch because it's so heartbreaking and so sad. But that moment, obviously very passionate. Two great actors, the late Heath Ledger and, of course, Jake Gyllenhaal, thankfully still with us.
Yes, he is. He's in a new episode of Presumed Innocent dropped. I don't like watching shows that drop once a week. That's my new
Apple
decision.
Plus. Right.
Presumed Innocent, excellent right now.
It's outstanding,
And it's
except
back.
I want to watch
Tony's
them
in.
all at once.
Also, salute to Max. We love you.
Which Max?
The one we're on right now. Salute to you.
Oh, the channel. I thought there was a person. It's another person in
That's what I'm
Metal.
gonna say by
I
the Bell
didn't
to
know.
Max.
Max is a good dog name.
Classic dog
I have an
name.
Uncle Max.
Really?
His
Is he a
name is
dog?
Richard, but he's called Max. It's better than Dick.
I don't know.
Uncle Dick.
Exactly. Well, I don't know how Richard became Dick, but we can talk about that later. I can't believe this is the first time, Adnan, that we've done this. The first time that we have a top 5 list
Oh
and
my
we have the
God.
same number one.
Yes.
That
Sharon
has to
Stone.
mean it's the number one sexiest scene of all time, the Sharon Stone interrogation for Basic Instinct.
Brothers, salute. That's a very sexy scene. But I want to, just for the younger guys, around the world, put hair on my chest. Wild Things. That was a
man.
lot going on whenever
Nev
I was
Matt
Campbell.
Dillon. Matt
I was
Dillon.
a kid. Wild Things. You feel me? Unfaithful with Diane Lang too when she became unfaithful.
Whoa.
I'm
That
not saying
is a great one.
Spoiler alert. Also, Betty White and bringing down the house in that nightgown.
Oh, no, jeez. Betty White.
Not
Hot in
great one,
Cleveland.
but it was so good till just now.
Oh, no, Juge, you might as well mention American Pie. Jason Biggs with a pie. That's disgusting.
Not the pie. A little earlier.
Not
though.
pie.
I can't say I learned anything during that scene in American Pie, but I did see that it just celebrated its 25th or 45th or some long anniversary, which made me worried.
25th anniversary.
How many?
25th. 1999 it came out.
Also, when I was a kid, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yes. Come on, guys.
Baby
But
Kate's.
when I was a kid, though.
I went and bought the Cars album after Fast Times at Ridgemont High because Moving in Stereo was playing during that album, during that scene when Phoebe Cates, who's married to Kevin Kline now, I hope you've heard of any of these people. The scene where she opens the bikini is simply when you know. It's just, people say when you know about love, about various things. That's Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yes, sir.
Judge Reinhold.
You dig me?
Judge Reinhold, good reference. Currently on Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Speaking of nostalgia. David, a little surprised. Neither of us got 9.5 weeks in there. Mickey Rourke.
So I like the ice scene. I really do like the ice scene, actually. It just didn't make my top 5. What a thing when you're writing
Wolf
a movie.
of Wall Street, guys.
Margot
Wall Street,
Robbie.
a good one. Margot
Yes, sir.
Robbie.
Leonardo
The heel to the
DiCaprio
head.
I
crawling.
was like 18 when that came out.
That's prime then.
Yeah, it was, influential.
Did you want to be Jordan Belfort or Leonardo DiCaprio? Because that says a lot about a person.
Yeah, didn't ever want to be Jordan Belfort, based off the way I feel about economics. But outside of that, Leo DiCaprio, yeah, sure. In that moment, certainly.
I don't know if he has a great life, Leonardo DiCaprio.
I feel bad for him all the time.
Isn't
Feel
that
bad for
strange?
him?
I do too.
I don't.
You don't ever?
No. He's
No,
fine.
great life. Billy, he's dating women half his age. He always gets to work with Scorsese, the best directors in the world. Leo's got the life. Come on. How could you feel sorry for him?
I feel like people are not necessarily as happy as you think they are because you see them on screen and with beautiful women.
There we are. South Beach Sessions this week with the one and only coach of the Miami Dolphins, Mike Daniel.
That's coming up today.
Yes, sir. Ski.
Thank you for that. Dan likes that. I wonder whether Mike is going to do anything of note. Do you think Dan will put him on the couch?
I think so. He's such a great personality. I can't wait to tune in.
I actually want to watch that one because Dan may get Mike to do things that Mike doesn't want to do.
Right.
I don't mean in that way. I'm saying in terms of the way Dan gets
Off the heels of
people
that
to say
list,
things.
and you say that, I don't know what's going on anymore.
There's
Have
a lot
sexiness on your
going
mind. I don't know what's going on here.
Adnan, Verk, Cinephile. It's a podcast. We do top fives from time to time. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Adnan.
David, this was great fun, man. Thank you for having me. And one more thought for you. Rachel McAdams, About Time. I know it's one of your favorites.
Oh, that movie
It
makes
is
me
one of my
cry
favorites.
so hard.
Every time.
Thanks, boys.
We're going to get to some things I want to talk about as it relates to doing good by other people, charity work, etc. Something happened and came to my attention yesterday. It was a weird night for me. It was one of my sleepless nights. I was in the Elster. I got 0 sleep, 0 minutes of sleep last night, which happens way more often than I'd like to acknowledge. This week had been decent. I got 2 to 3 each night. Last night was a 0.
Well, what do you do? Like, do you have coffee? Do you have like
Never
sugar?
had a cup in my life.
What?
Really?
I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. No caffeine.
How are you functioning? How are you alive?
How-
Yeah, like how are you here today with us with no sleep ever? And 2 hours is a good night.
Because that's what it is. I watch a lot of movies, and I do a lot of reading, and I think about nothing personal, or I think about this show. I'm always thinking about things that can be done. I love going out onto the balcony here and seeing the quiet of the night. I happen to love the quiet of the night.
It's amazing that reading doesn't put you to sleep, though, considering the lack of sleep that you're getting. Because for me, sometimes even when I don't realize I'm tired, if I start reading a book, I'll start nodding off just
It's
because
not a book
it's
that
such
I read, though. It's the phone.
See, that's the problem. You got to get a book, a physical book with
Pages?
yellowish pages, like old pages that you could just look at the text. It might help you unwind your mind a little bit and go to bed.
I
Because
don't
if you're at
want
your
to
phone,
unwind, is the truth.
you have no interest in getting
Here-
sleep.
I view sleep. I hate sleep. I hate my bed. I hate all beds. The Elster bed is uncomfortable, but so is my own bed.
But it's a great hotel.
Yeah, I love it here.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it here,
Actually
but I
very
don't
comfortable
enjoy
bed.
anybody's bed. I've told you guys that I view my bed as like the devil opening its arms when I get into bed, where some people view it as an angel, that they're going into a heavenly, puffy place. I view it with smoke and fire and embers.
So you
Speaking
don't
of smoke, have you considered the now legal in New York some marijuana to help you
Could help.
go to sleep?
Done sleep gummies.
No, not
Done it
gummies.
all.
I'm talking about ganja.
Oh, the
Like,
actual
yeah,
flower?
Snoop Dogg style.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, but wouldn't that set off a smoke alarm?
No,
sit on
but
that
goes
balcony.
on.
Anyway.
You can't smoke in your house anyway. Follow the rules.
There's definitely no smoking in the house. So last night, what was particularly upsetting, and I'm not Dan, that's for sure. He's way more worried about stuff than I am, and maybe rightly so. But I'm very bothered about violence at sporting events. I was not. It struck me hard what happened, and I got some negative attention, and I want to see where my blind spot is here. Because my view is players cannot go into the stands. I don't care why. And the criticism that I've received is they're protecting their family. You can do anything you want to protect your family. Where did I go wrong on that?
I mean, if I'm a player and I see somebody up there even thinking about looking like they finna touch my mom or dad or my little brother, bro, it's a problem. So I don't have the same opinion as you, bro. I'm jumping in the crowd. I don't give a damn I don't care who it is. You don't touch my mama. It's smoke regardless. And I'm coming up there.
I don't think you should be allowed. There's security to do it. There are people who are supposed to be there to protect the families.
But sometimes they're not doing their job. You looking at
and
your
that
mama in
happens.
trouble.
Sure.
That happens all the time in all sorts of different places. Like if my family's in trouble, I'm at least trying to step in where I can. And now I'm also a bit of a coward. And so I say that, right? Theoretically, I don't know if I would actually do it if I was in harm's way or what the situation is. It might depend. But I think in the scenario that we're throwing out there, like if I'm an athlete and I can go protect my family in a situation, that's the first thing I'm doing, especially when we see all the examples of security guards like shying away from that confrontation.
What if you were at a Heat game in the spot you sit where you got caught with the finger in the mouth and you just
that
looked
one.
over and someone was tugging on your wife?
Yeah,
just
I'm running
tugging
up
on-
there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's where
You're
it's
not
at.
calling
I'm angry
security.
immediately. No, I'm
Right.
not, because then how long is that going to take?
Right.
You're right.
It's
I'm
supposed
at
to
least
happen
going up
fast
and trying to have
is
a
the point.
conversation. I might not try to have a physical confrontation. I would hope to avoid that, but it's a good example. My blood's boiling even just thinking about it.
We still have your top 5 things of people you'd confront if you were larger that we have to get to later in the show.
I do have a top
Yeah,
5
it's
of
written
people
down.
I'd confront
Yeah.
and the things they do if I were larger. And it would not be someone who's going after my family as an athlete because I want to believe that I can run a facility where I'm going to protect it. So last night I was thinking about this and thinking about am I wrong here? And then I get to the next video. Every day there's something where in Brazil, forget fighting. This was an actual shooting, which it happens more often than I'd like to acknowledge. The police shot one of the players. This is, look, if you're not on YouTube.
It's insane.
This is an actual shot being fired. It was a rubber bullet. Doesn't matter to me. It pierced the skin and there was blood. The goalie went down, stumbled down after this. And it got me thinking, and this was part of the problem last night. This is around a 3 to 4 a.m. situation when this is in my head. What would I be doing? I do that a lot. What would I be doing? This is my stadium. This is my team. This is my player. And the police here in the U.S., we pay the police to be at the games. That's part of the expense of the team, is you pay police to be inside the ballpark and you pay the police who are outside the ballpark as well. You certainly pay CSC, the ushers, the security people. And the fact that there is a shooting going on is a way to keep the peace because everyone is going so crazy about the game, whatever the case may be. It gave me pause to think that maybe our problems are way deeper than climate change.
You can say that again, bro. For real.
And that began to make me wonder whether Dan had it wrong. That it's not necessarily the hurricanes and the temperature of the ocean. It's the fact that violence, for whatever reason, has become somebody's love language.
Right.
My love language is touching. That's my love language.
I'm throwing flip-flops. Yeah.
Whose flip-flops? Whose love language is violence? Why is that a love language?
I got some homeboys just like it, bro. Like, I got some homeboys and they're not here anymore. Some of them are still here. They come up on their own, and so they defend. They got so much pride, and they can't even let nobody step on their shoe without showing you who they could be. And it's a killer. You're right.
I think we need a little more finesse.
And sleep.
So sleep doesn't, but no. I'm not violent because I don't sleep.
If you were
Yeah, but
asleep,
some
you
people
wouldn't
are.
have been,
You
feeling
think
this
that
way.
tiredness and violence are correlated?
No, I think if you were asleep, you wouldn't have had any of these thoughts.
If I get hangry, I'm ready to shoot somebody.
I don't think so.
What?
I mean, obviously it's a joke, but
I
like,
don't know.
if you can get impatient, like I get
Terrible
incredibly
I felt
impatient if I'm just like too hungry. So if I'm lacking, if I were sleeping the amount that you were, I would be a totally different person. I would be infuriated all the time.
Have you not found the right bed or pillow? Like,
I've tried. I am the guy. Jeff Bezos, shout out to you, man. Thank you. Thank you for enabling a new pillow or a new. I once bought, if you've seen this, it's this weighted, heavy blanket that's supposed to help you sleep. Have you ever seen one of those?
Those are the best. Yeah.
Didn't help me.
really?
Gave it away.
Have you gone to a doctor?
No.
Okay, well,
Really?
maybe start with that.
Seems like a start.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not going to. What am I going to do? A Pablo CPAP machine? I don't have apnea.
Well, you've never been to a doctor. You don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I go to
You
doctors
don't
all the
know.
time.
But
You,
for
wait, you
this
didn't mean
specific,
a doctor.
like, no, I mean going to like someone who specializes in like sleep.
What are they going to do?
They're gonna
Something.
run
Something.
tests, and because you probably have no idea what's wrong, and they're gonna run tests, and maybe they'll find something that can work for
Think
you.
it's therapy.
And then you'll sleep, and then you'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm the happiest person in the world. I want
Right.
to spend money and help people.
Maybe you'll
and
start
do wonderful
farting.
things, and you'll fart, and you'll eat stuff that's other than candy. Your life could completely change."
Yeah.
If you just went to a doctor, said, "Hey, I cannot sleep. It would be cool if you could help me," and they probably will. And you're rich, so you can go to the good doctor.
Good. I have the same insurance you do. So
I don't
do you-
want to. I don't want to concern you, and I don't want to be too like
I
morbid
am
here. But like,
slightly concerned at the moment.
aren't you worried you're gonna die?
I think about that every day,
Not-
but that has nothing to do.
No,
we're
but
all
like,
gonna die.
like you
act accordingly.
No, but like this isn't like healthy
The
for your body.
Thank you.
Shakur Stevenson fights too. Turn that on. Try to lay down.
I would simply ask you this: do you find me, and I'm specifically speaking to you, Lucy, who's concerned about me, and I want to tell you I appreciate your concern. Do you find me to be a down person, sort of tired and dragging and depressed and woe is me guy?
No, more manic, and that's also not a good thing.
Oh, but it doesn't manic mean up and down?
Manic is like mania, and so bipolar is up and down. Manic is like
Manic
a
is just
really
up.
like up high state, And so you don't want to be just up all the time. And sleep can really help regulate that. Some people, I'm sure out there, can like live life on 2 hours of sleep. That's a super rare thing. So maybe you go see a specialist so you can confirm, hey, you are just like an insane human specimen that doesn't need sleep. Or you go to the doctor and they say, we can help you. We're going to help you get sleep. And then your life changes. And then maybe you don't feel so anxious all the time.
Yep.
I appreciate. I'm loving the love on your birthday. You're sending me the love. I don't find that my life is deleteriously impacted in any way by my habits.
Well, you just talked about how you think about dying all the time, and I think that's
Doesn't-
probably
but that-
related.
I think that's just being Jewish.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think that is.
we
anything-
automatically have a little extra anxiety.
Right. So I don't think there's a doctor for that. And if there is, I've been to her and him. And them.
Try being black, but I think you are in the stage of where a superhero right before he realizes he got powers. Like you might need to go to the doctor because not sleeping. I don't know, bro. Maybe you got a super thing going on right now.
Yeah, we could get a little serum from you so that we could all potentially
I don't want to
have
be
that
in the
extra
position,
power.
though.
I don't know if
I don't want to be in the position, though, where I would look at the video of the violence in the stands or someone being shot or the issues that I think about where sleep would make it so I don't have the capacity or the time to think about them.
I don't think it'll take away the capacity to think about those things. I think it'll just help ease your mind a little bit. Yeah. Because we should think about the things that are bad in the world, but we don't need to think about them all the time, and they don't need to consume us all.
Well, I'm not consumed by it.
Well, you're staying up late at night and you're thinking about really sad things.
But let me ask you, what's the difference between thinking about it at 3 p.m. or 3 a.m.? Is it not the same level of being consumed by it?
Are
if
you
it's
always
1
thinking
hour?
about it at 3 p.m.?
No,
or
I'm
does this
saying
happen to you
if
more
it's just
often?
an hour a day, what's the difference what hour it is?
Well, if you're sleeping, you're not thinking about it.
Well, you schedule your sad hours for the middle of the night.
I don't. It just so happens last night was that. If I hadn't seen that video, I will admit that there is something that's happened that has definitely hurt me, and that is social media.
Put the phone down, David.
I don't put the. I'm
You have
always
to.
looking for content.
You want me to set a screen time parental control on your phone for you? Like, I'll be the only one that knows the password.
I don't even look at that. I don't want to look. I
do you
don't want to
mean?
know what my screen time is.
No. I'm gonna set it. I will give me your phone and I'll set like a maximum amount of time.
Wait,
you can
will it
spend
turn the
on your-
phone off?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. And then the next day you can get it again when you're a good boy. Yeah, that's how it works.
I am
You
a
earn
good
your
boy.
screen time.
I'm not out doing bad things in the middle of the night.
Just for yourself.
Maybe to myself.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's it.
Do you have like a mindfulness activity? Yeah. Like something that you do that's not screen related, not sad related, something that your brain just kind of shuts off. Like when I paint, I don't have one thought in this brain for hours. And it's awesome. And then I'm done painting and I'm like, oh my God, it's been 7 hours and I haven't thought one time and it kicks ass. Wow. I used to work at a bakery and I used to ice the cookies. I only worked for a week. I got fired because I kept showing up late. No, but I would ice. I showed up late. Okay, so here's the thing. I showed up
How
late.
many times?
Okay, I only worked there a week, so a couple times. But here's the thing. They said you need to be there at 7 a.m. That is the time that you'll. I know that's way too early. I said I can do 7 a.m. So I show up at 7 a.m. and they say when we say 7 a.m. we mean you need to be here at 6:50. I said then just say 6:50.
Which they did, and you still relate the
And
second
then I was
time.
still because I can't vibe with that. I think that's really.
Why would you work for a bakery? You know you make the donuts in the middle of the night, and bakeries all start early in the morning. If you're not a morning person, that may be, again, a great top 5. What job shouldn't you take if you're not a morning person? How about a
This
live
one.
show at 9 a.m.?
Trust me, I have asked Dan so many times, hey, can we push this back a couple hours? And he says, I don't have any power here. I said, your name is everywhere. I think you have a little bit of power here. Yeah.
When I was younger, I took a job at Old Navy, like a holiday person. And my first day, I was folded a whole thing of shirts. And then I was like, dang, bro, I'm a great folder. And then this little kid came over and just picked up 4 shirts and just threw them back on the pot. I quit right then and there. I just told him, yeah, I can't do this. Walk straight out.
I'm good.
Yep, no check or nothing. Don't even pay me. I'm good.
What do you think about when you run?
I think about my plan for the day.
Oh,
what I'm doing. I made a lot of Marlins decisions while running. A lot.
There's a level of clarity that can come with running. I
love
understand
running.
that, but that if that is not your moment to be mindful of just being able to sort of clear your mind, it would be great, as Lucy suggested, having some sort of something, whether it's meditation, whether it's reading a book. And I know meditation could be frustrating. I'm someone.
I tried yoga.
My
didn't
mind
work.
races.
I can't touch my toes.
Well, but that's different. That's different
You're
than
not
meditation.
going to the first day. You work up to that.
Right.
Lucy lasted a week.
What? That was at a bakery,
Okay,
not
and
yoga.
that was just working at a bakery, and I didn't like the job, and it wasn't the right fit for me, okay? And it was during COVID. I couldn't find another job. I was just doing the best I can, given the situation I was in. But I found another mindful activity that wasn't icing cookies. It was painting and doing my little crafts, and they're awesome, and they keep me sane and grounded. So I think maybe you should try to find out a little activity.
Are they for sale?
My crafts?
Yes.
Some of them.
Do you have a website that I could talk about and
No.
bring people to?
No.
Are you interested in becoming some sort of artiste?
No.
You want to be
Speaking
a
of
starving
artists, Angel Reese is an artiste. She continued the streak. She stretched the streak again last night against the New York Liberty, who got in there behind. You feel me? They defended their home court. Last time they played, it was a bit of a spanking on the Chicago side. So they came out and played very well. But Angel Reese, she extended her double-double streak to 15 games now, in which she has already set the record. So she's just building on top at this point.
It seems to me that she will never not get a double-double again. She's at 15, I think. I think it could go to 40.
Last night was a bit of a struggle to get it. Like, she got it in the fourth quarter in crunch time type of. You know
She didn't go off the backboard, did she?
Nah.
How would you feel if her double-double streak gets extended? I'm asking the group here because I have a thought on this. If you miss a shot off the backboard on purpose to get your rebound, to get the 10th rebound to keep the double-double streak alive. Where's your head on that?
Heady move, heady play.
Wasn't it like 2 games ago also that it was like free throws with like 6 seconds left in the game or something?
Right, and her mama was stressed out. I was stressed right with her, dog.
Was it like the Jose Reyes laying down a bunt to win the batting title?
I have no problem with that.
Right.
I have no problem with that at all.
I feel
have no
similarly.
problem with people going for the triple-double who set it up. If you want to throw it off the backboard, I'm in.
I feel the same way.
I have a question for you. You were in the Marlins organization at this time. How did you feel when Luis Castillo's hit streak ended with him on deck?
Despondent. The story is Tim Raines hit a sacrifice fly to end the game. And
that's controllable.
Yes,
you can
it is.
control that.
Fired the third base coach.
No, we didn't fire anyone because back in that day, we were in touch with the dugout. And we told it was Torborg was the manager. And we said, win the game. And so they got word to Raines because Raines wanted to know what the play was. Do we get Luis Castillo another bat? He had, I want to say, a 35-game hit streak. I don't remember the exact number.
I think the best
35
of this century, isn't it?
No,
not?
I think Chase Utley beat it.
Chase Utley did?
I think
I'll
there's
look
been
it
a
up.
44
And then there was like a weird Jimmy
or
Rollins
46.
one season to the next. It doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
We had giveaways. We had all stuff. We thought Castillo was the type of player who could maybe approach 56. And we were a team in 02. It was my first year in Miami. We were not going anywhere, speaking of Paul Skenes. And Luis Castillo, he was the one giving us attention. And he was on deck. He was hitless. And we had the winning run on third with 1 out. Tim Raines at the plate. And as he's walking, we got word to the dugout, who got word to Raines. And, very complicated signs back then, like hitting the garbage can. It was this.
Swing away.
If you're not watching it, swing away. Meaning win the game.
Jimmy Rollins has the longest hit streak this century at 38 games. That's the one that lasted over 2 seasons. It looks like Luis Castillo and Chase Utley tied at 35 games. Utley's
Didn't
was in
Ugla have a
06.
long hit streak in Atlanta?
I'll look that
I
up. as
believe
well. Yeah,
Ugla
he did.
had
33 games in 2011 in Atlanta.
Which is unreal that Ugla did that.
That doesn't make any sense considering the type of
Terrible.
player he was.
But Billy, another thing that I did wrong to ruin your fandom? Having us win the game that no one cares,
No,
no one
I didn't blame you
remembers.
for that. No.
When he could have.
Tim Raines, I mean, jeez.
Tim Raines was fun to have. Tim Raines, obviously a great man and a great player. But what if Castillo could have caught DiMaggio? That's what I kept thinking. Because if you can catch DiMaggio, you're it. Luis Castillo would be in the Hall of Fame. He'd be
Really?
if you can get a 57
Oh,
game
Really?
boy.
You don't say that. Okay.
Tony has a good hypothetical for you.
So,
Dan.
Dave,
has
if
a
you
hypothetical.
play 5 seasons in a row, okay, and get a hit in every single game, only a single in every single game, you don't have any home runs.
810 game hit streak.
Yeah. Are you a Hall of Famer?
You are in the Hall of Fame, but you're not a Hall of Famer.
That's right.
You're not in the plaque room, but you get yourself an exhibit. If you have an 810 game hit streak, if Luis Castillo, now I love where your head's at. Luis Castillo is a better player than a one hit every game. He had people may not remember this. I don't know why. Gold glove infielder, fantastic, a World Series champion. He had longevity as a bunch of Marlins records, or at least did when I left in 17. I believe that with a 57-game hit streak, he would have been a stronger consideration for Cooperstown.
What about an 810-game hit streak?
I mean, that's damn good.
But you're hitting 250.
You're hitting 250.
1 for 4.
Right now is outstanding.
Yeah, but your OPS is nothing because you've never hit a home run. You've never had an extra base
Oh,
hit.
it's a single.
It's a single.
It's a single.
810
Every game.
straight singles.
Yes.
I bet Ichiro could have done that
He did.
if we asked Ichiro to do that and said, would you mind just getting one single
Why didn't you?
each game?
All right,
Because
sounds productive.
I mean,
It doesn't-
you have the option to have an 810 game.
Would have been a
hit streak. Why
mediocre
wouldn't you
player.
take it?
because
Jeez.
then you're.
Why didn't you ask Ichiro to get his 3,000 hit at home if we were in so much control over
we had
Ichiro?
that conversation also?
I know. I'll never forgive you.
So
Or Don Mattingly.
the conversation was, do you not play him? Do you wait? Because we were heading home. It was a Sunday in Colorado in August. I
You had
believe
one
it was
day.
August 16th. And I believe we were coming home for the next series. I may be wrong.
No, you're
but
right.
that's
He was
look it
coming
up.
home the
I'll
next
look it up
day.
right now.
He got an unnecessary start that day.
So we had the amount of respect we had for Ichiro. I don't know that I've respected a player more than I respected Ichiro for any of the players who I had in my career. And he wanted to get it done. And he had an eye. Here's a little nugget about Ichiro. He had an eye toward a triple for his 3,000th hit. And he got it.
Barely.
Damn.
It's
Right over the glove of the.
He almost screwed it up by hitting a home run.
Well, it was also
It
almost
was off
caught,
the
which
wall,
is.
I
was,
believe.
no, I was hoping that it would get caught. It was like right over the outfielder's glove. I was like, God, catch
Oh,
that,
I thought it hit
please
the
catch
wall.
that." It did, but he was jumping up to
Oh,
catch
got
it.
it,
I was
got
like,
it,
God,
got it.
please catch that ball, and he didn't.
You had a 6-game homestand right after that against San Francisco and the Chicago White Sox.
And I think if you look, that was his only hit of that game.
Yeah, well, he had gone a bunch of games.
Oh, I know. I went to a
Without
bunch
a
of
hit.
games waiting for it to happen. He'd come in and he'd pinch hit, and then he'd like ground out.
He
or
went 1 for
pop
4 that
out.
night.
Yep.
And so remember, he started in his 3,000th
Mm-hmm.
game, and he was generally a bat off the bench for us. And that was another discussion we had, is whether or not you change what a player is according to a record that they're going for. Like all of a sudden, would Reese play more minutes? If there's a blowout in a game where she would then get rest and she doesn't have the double-double, am I putting her back out there just to get the double-double? And my answer to that would be no.
Right. Speaking of records, though, Caitlin Clark, triple-double. And the other day against the Mystics, holy moly, she stuffed the stat sheet. Lucy, did you check that out?
Of course I did. Let me read you the stats from this because Caitlin had like her first real Iowa game in the WNBA. So here are their stats from, it was a loss to the Mystics. Caitlin had 29 points, 15 points in the fourth quarter, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 5 threes, 3 blocks. She was shooting 50% from the field, 56% from 3, and then 90% from her free throw line.
You
Man,
want
they was
that
down
every day,
big.
don't you?
Oh yeah, I mean it's awesome.
coming.
Yeah, and like you see her get so much better, but that was her first real game where like she put up numbers like that at Iowa all the time.
crazy.
It was, I believe it broke records in the sense that I don't think any player has ever had like that stat lines in WNBA history, or I believe the history of the NBA either.
Right. They was down big in that
Yeah.
game and made a great comeback behind Caitlin in that fourth quarter.
And then Christy was like, "Well, since you led us back here and you did all this work, I'm not going to trust you at the end of the game."
Just
I'm not gonna
remember
do
that Jordan had a lot of problems when he was first in the league. The Bulls were not successful. They were a bad team. Doug Collins was the coach, the Brad Sellers years, and he won a lot of championships. Caitlin Clark, at the end of the day, I don't know what the over-under is. If there's even a market for that, we can check DraftKings. I'm going to put the over-under for titles for Caitlin Clark in her career at 5.
Yeah, she'll win a lot. My thing is a lot of people are like, well, you know, she's going to struggle to start off with, and she did, but she's playing really well, and she has for the last, 2 months. The first few weeks of the season were kind of rough. She's played amazing.
She hasn't rested.
Yeah, she
Talk
had
about
like
rest.
she
went
finally
straight
started to
through.
get breaks after the 20 days, 11-game streak, which was absolutely insane for the Fever to start off the season that way. But she's played a lot better. And, like, yeah, she's turning the ball over a lot, and she needs to work on that. But also she's being used, like, in the Fever offense more than any player is being used.
I was talking about college,
the WNBA.
though.
Oh, college, she was amazing.
No, but no.
She never did anything wrong in college.
No, what I'm saying is she went from college and then I believe right to training camp.
No, she did. Yeah,
there was no break.
Especially because Iowa made it all the way to the national championship game. Iowa unfortunately lost the national championship game. It's my birthday though, so we're not going to talk about that. Yeah. And then 1 week later, she was drafted. Like there was no in between time. And then they had their first I think it was just a exhibition game. I think 10 days after that, like there has not been a moment for Caitlin to breathe, and that's why it's probably a really good thing for her that she didn't make the Olympic team. And you've seen with rest, just after that huge stretch the Fever had to start the season, how much better Caitlin has been, how much better Aaliyah has been. Like yeah,
you.
Lots of people need sleep.
Yeah. I was thinking about the MLB draft is coming up this week, and no one cares. We're not talking about it. It's making me angry.
I have a question for you though, Dave.
Yes, sir.
What baseball record, speaking of records, what baseball record is going to be the most difficult one to have beaten? Hits, home runs, or hits in a season? Like hitting.
You're only giving me those two choices?
Those three. So home runs, hits all
you
time.
You mean career home runs or Mark McGwire or
career
Barry
home
Bonds
runs,
in a season?
career hits, or hitting streak?
Can I say that it's Henry Aaron who has the number, or is it Bonds? What number are you asking?
Whatever number you go by.
Can I tell you I didn't like last year when they were doing that with Aaron Judge, saying like, well, the real home run record. And I know that Stanton hinted at that when he was getting close and he couldn't get to it. And it's like, you guys.
Stop erasing my childhood.
No, it's not that. It's just an opportunistic, I want to be the home run champion, and I'm not going to get to that.
It's a thing in the union. It's a thing in the commissioner's office. It's a thing. So... I thought you were asking me the two records that will never be broken, and that is the career wins and the Cal Ripken Ironman streak.
So you think somebody will beat Pete Rose for the hit king all time?
It is possible that there will be another player. We just were looking at Ichiro. He had 10 or 9. I think he has 9 200-hit seasons. And 200-hit seasons used to be what the goal was, and barely anyone gets there anymore because everyone would rather strike out or hit a home run. So I would say that the career hits is the one that is very unlikely to ever be broken versus, although Ichiro's got the single season record at 262 maybe.
But given the present state of baseball gameplay and the style, 56 games in a row with a hit feels impossible because guys have never even come within 10 of that at any point in Major League Baseball history. And right now, there's so much strikeout, home run, walk that even the best of players, even like if you look at a guy who is at the top of the league in batting average every single year in Luis Arias, there are plenty of offer nights in there because he'll work a walk and there's a different type of approach. So to me, I mean, like, I even feel like it might be more possible to break the Ironman streak than it would be.
No one plays that much
no one
anymore.
does, but if someone did, like Mikal Bridges, right, plays every game in the NBA. Well, that doesn't happen in the NBA.
How many years has
anymore.
he done it?
He's done it, I think, for 6 years in a row now, where he's played every single game. He played all the way back through college and through high school. And so playing that many games in a row is very rare in basketball. You could have an outlier of a player who's just capable of playing every day. Sometimes it's as the DH. But I don't see a world where, at least in the modern version of baseball, anyone even comes close to a 56-game hit streak. That feels impossible.
Pete Rose played like 30 years in the MLB.
Yeah, that part too.
That's the other thing. He started playing in 1963 and ended in 1986. So you tally all those hits, and the way that baseball's being played now, where it's all launch angles and trying to hit home runs and all that stuff, nobody's hitting for average. Nobody's hitting to get hits. 4,256. Is anybody close?
Ichiro.
Active, though. Active.
No, active. I assume the next 3,000 hit guy. I love these stats where they talk about which players can now win 300 games. It used to be that's how you got to Cooperstown. And what I hate is that, and hate's a strong word, we've changed the rules. We've made it okay. We've accepted mediocrity. We've accepted the change that allows players to be worse than they were because the analytics values things differently.
More skilled, worse players. That's the part that's frustrating. They're
They
all
throw
more
faster.
skilled
I'm
than
not
they've
sure
ever
if they're
been.
more skilled.
No, because even these guys with that level of velocity, their ability to locate pitches, their ability to move the ball, it's amazing. These hitters being able to hit off of every single guy throwing 100 miles an hour. It used to be that there was only Matt Lindstrom coming in late in the game throwing 100 miles an hour. Now Paul Skenes is doing it for 40 pitches a game. And yet you're now dealing with a situation where these guys are so skilled, but they're so specialized that it makes it that their well-rounded game isn't quite there, and they're not quite the same players that we got to celebrate in years past.
Joe Biden last night talked about how he's got to get the middle class back. And in baseball, there is no middle class. You've got the lower class and the upper class. And the way the upper class works in baseball is they buy $300,000 machines. They lease them per year. Have you heard of these pitching machines that have a picture of the actual pitcher? And they are throwing the exact pitches that the actual pitcher will actually throw to you?
I did not know that.
It is the crazy. It used to be a batting practice machine. A BP machine was a thump. Thump. You drop a ball in, and it goes through 2 spinning wheels, and it goes, and that's it. Then
sits this flat just.
Then if you move it, you can get a slider when you spin it a little bit. Screw that. Now for $300,000 a year, you can rent a machine that has a video LCD board of the pitcher, and his exact arsenal, and it's his face pitching at you, and then the hitters are in BP doing it, and then by the way, they're still hitting 220. And I'm getting criticized as a low-revenue team for not spending that money on this stuff, which isn't helping the Dodgers. The Dodgers have them everywhere. That you can't basically do a 360 without seeing one of these machines. And how come no one can hit?
It's because the velocity is at a level that is
you can set the
so
velocity.
Crazy. No, but it's not about that. When you actually are facing a pitcher where there's an ability that the ball might not go exactly where you expect it, because when you're facing one of those machines, you know where the ball's going. Even if it's going to be a slider, even if it's going to be something else, you know what's going over the plate. When you're dealing with Giancarlo Stanton, who's a guy who's taking a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the face, there's an ability that ball could go anywhere. Hitting a baseball is the most difficult thing to do in sports, and it's only gotten more and more difficult because we're hunting velocity. And all these things that baseball has done to capitalize in the margins and be able to, put these teams together where you're platooning guys and taking advantage within analytics. It's similar to the way that some people don't enjoy watching the way basketball is played currently in the 5-out.
Chuck and
where
duck.
it's just shooting threes and as many threes as you can per game to capitalize
Analytics.
on, let's take advantage of this weak spot. That's what baseball's done in every aspect of the game.
What do you do for a week's job at a bakery? Like, were you glazing like donuts? Did you learn to make anything?
I didn't make anything. I showed up late, so I missed a lot of time, apparently. I did, coffee drinks, and then just really, they did, cookie sandwiches. So I would put the icing in the middle of the cookies.
But did you make the icing?
No, I didn't make
Wait,
anything.
it didn't come out of a container that you bought, did it?
No. So the owner of the bakery got there at, 3 in the morning. Yeah. And she would do all that stuff, and then we would show up, and then we would, it was just, customer service.
How many people worked there?
I don't know, 3 or 4. I didn't work there that long, so I really don't know.
Huh.
Is that the shortest time you've ever had a job?
I was a nanny for a week before I got fired.
And then they realized you can't take care of kids?
No, I am super great with kids. Those kids were terrible.
How do you know how Willow's going to be?
She's been great. I've watched Willow before.
Yeah.
And I babysit a lot. I'm very good with kids. These kids were just exceptionally bad
What
kids.
were they not toilet trained?
No, I mean, they were old. So,
That'd
here's
make it worse,
an
wouldn't
example. Here's an example. So their mom was like, hey, girl, you just let them do their thing, live their life. Only thing is no, R-rated movies, stuff that you would normally not let a kid do. So these kids were sitting there, and they're like, we want to watch National Lampoon's Vacation. I said, well, that's an R-rated movie.
Great movie.
There's a lot of tit scenes in that movie. And I said, well, you're 5, so let's not do that.
Show them the one with commercials.
It was a DVD. So they gave us the DVD, and I said, hey, sorry, your mom said you can't watch these movies. I said, okay, well, she said you can't do it. Sorry. And they start flipping out. And I said, that's fine. Whatever. We're just going to put on something else. Let's watch Trolls. So we put on Trolls. One of the kids goes to the bathroom, comes back, has her cell phone, goes, it's our mom for you. And she hands me the phone, and I'm like, "Hey, Megan, what's up?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can just let the kids watch the movie." And
They went over your
They
head?
did that to me so many times. Now here's the final straw. Okay, so it was day 4, and I said, "This isn't gonna last. I know it's not gonna go well." So I brought my sister with me. Because
Well, how long were you nannying for? This is gonna be like a
It was
full
supposed to be
time
a
thing.
full summer. It was supposed to be a full summer. So
I thought it was like for the parents on vacation.
Yeah.
No. So she was like going to work and I was watching her kids. So it was day 4 and I knew I was going to get fired because these kids were so bad. So I brought my little sister with me. And Kate was like, "Lucy, you're being so overdramatic. Like, these kids are fine." I said, "I don't think so." So I brought Kate with me. And the way I paid Kate to come with me is I took her to get breakfast that morning. So we got coffee and breakfast sandwiches, whatever. So we're sitting there and the kids are being a menace. And then this little girl, she's like, "Lucy, can I have your coffee?" And it was like a really sugary coffee drink. So I said, "No, Ava, you can't have it." So I go to the bathroom, I come back, and she sits there, she holds up the coffee and says, "You won't let me have it," and dumps it on the floor in front of me.
Oh, no. Oh,
She was
no.
a devil child. They were bad kids. They were not good kids. And then they were like, "Hey, you don't have to come in tomorrow." And then Megan was like, "Sorry, we're not going to need anyone to watch the kids." And they didn't hire anybody else because no one would sit and watch those kids.
Wait, so what happened with
Unplugged
the
every
kids?
TV in that damn
Well,
house.
so Megan had to I don't know if she quit her job, but she started working from home. The one moment from that whole experience that really sticks with me is they were like, "Hey, we want to do put on a musical performance for you." And I said,
That is perfect.
That's totally
That's
fine."
so
And
nice.
kids do that all the time. So they come out and they chose the song "Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster." And then the brother pretended to beat the shit out of his sister.
Oh my
He had a
God.
baseball bat, and I was just like,
I love these kids.
Did you stop it?
no, it was their performance. It was the only
a
time
great
that
song.
whole week they listened to me. And then they just got back up and I was like, "Okay, that was great."
I wouldn't have
Where are
fired
they
you.
now?
They're one of them's old enough to be in college.
The others are in juvie.
And then I don't know if they're doing well or not.
There's a movie called My Babysitter. You may want to check that out.
There's also a movie called Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead that you need to step up and protect yourself. These little kids is off the bruh.
You are crazy.
I would have unplugged every damn TV in that house. Unplug, give me your phone chargers, and then give me all your phones. You go to your room, and I will come tell y'all when y'all can use the bathroom.
Uncle Jew makes it happen.
You feel
Road
me?
rage.
What?
Road rage.
What is that?
That's one of the ones. Road rage is something that I'm just not big enough to do.
Hold on, wait. You just said you used to take trash and put it in folks' face when they drop it on
We're talking current day.
Oh, current. Okay.
Current
okay.
day.
Yes, sir.
Don't do the road rage anymore because I used to be a honker. I cannot stand when you're slow in the left lane. I don't understand it. I'm the flasher with lights.
You can still be a honker,
Yeah,
though.
okay, good clarification.
You can still
Thank
be a
you.
honker.
Also,
It's not nice to honk, but I can't stand people who are not paying attention. And the corollary to that, it's the online for food at a game. You get to the front of the line, and then you start looking at the menu. If I were
that
bigger,
drives me crazy.
I'd confront. I can't be the only one on that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get that in drive-thrus. You've been to McDonald's
can't
1,000
even.
times. You know what you want.
There's special times though, because Chick-fil-A, their employees, they come get you way before the sign. So it's been like a year and a half since I've seen a Chick-fil-A menu. So I'm just spicy chicken sandwiches. I would like to see it one more
That's
time.
fair, actually.
To refresh myself.
I get peer pressured into just ordering anything at that point because they have a little iPad and what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know, you're chicken. And I'll just get chicken.
You
and
have
I'm like,
to be
what
ready.
kind? Yeah, but I don't. If it's a restaurant like he's saying that I don't go to, I don't see a menu.
Go
And-
online before you go.
I mean, I'm
Every
driving.
menu is available
They got the
online. You
app
should
too.
be prepared.
You can order ahead, which is what I do a lot of the time. Just order ahead on my app.
You can do
pick
that
it up
too.
in 2 seconds. About.
Coins. Do not waste my time going in your wallet trying to get exact change when I'm waiting to check out. Do not do it. I want all coins to be eliminated. I want every price to be either rounded up or down.
Really?
I don't want something that's $9.69 and then someone's pulling out and then don't even get me started on the people working or the people giving the coins trying to count the change, which by the way takes forever and they get it wrong and then there's a recount, which Florida is very familiar
Recount.
with.
That's one of them categories where sleep could help with that, brother.
I'm not a coin fan. I think it's reasonable, and I've spoken to people and I've asked them why the Treasury continues to have coins.
I'm shocked because you look like someone that collects coins.
Collects coins?
Yeah, like you have collectible
I'm not a collector.
coins.
You're not a collector. Y'all seen
Like 1,000
seen
memorabilia
bobbleheads
thing.
on your
Yeah, that's
damn
it, yeah.
banister.
That I have memorabilia, but I'm not a collector. I have stuff that means something to me that I love looking at.
You have something that means a lot to you that you're doing to help others, don't you?
I do. Thank you very much. I'm going to be very quick about this because I'm doing something for charity and I'd like people to bid for it. There's something called the Bridgehampton Child Care Center. People think the Hamptons is only for rich people. It's not. Most of the people are underprivileged, underserved, and this is a center that helps those kids with after-school activities and programs, and I'm auctioning off a lunch with me. I'll pay. Drinks included, and you can pitch me a business that I'll look at and see if we can find some investors. Whatever you can do, go on Charity Buzz, and you can have lunch with me.
I'm going right now.
Bidding ends on July 17th, and we will have lunch. It can be in New York. It can be Miami. It can be anywhere. There's a QR code on your screen if you're watching on YouTube or on DraftKings. Please, please be charitable, however it is that you do it.